Selling is the most important ability of a successful entrepreneur. I have never met a business owner who didn't know how to sell. So, if you really want to create an amazing company, you have to master the art of selling regardless of the market. I think selling is an art. For sure, there are strategies and tactics you can use to increase sales or when you close the sale, but the process has different variables, especially if you are selling one-to-one. In this video, I want to share with you 5 most important skills in sales that you need to master if you want to sell anything without being salesy. The way you can use these 5 skills or steps is entirely different based on the selling environment. It's an essential concept that you need to understand from the beginning of this video. Let me share it with you. Selling environment number 1: one-to-one selling. You are in front of your potential customer. In this specific case, you have the opportunity to ask questions, see his reaction in real time, check his body language, and have a real-time feedback based on the communication you use. Selling environment number 2: one-to-many. In this case, you are in front of an audience. Maybe you are selling something after a speech. Your sales speech has been defined previously, step by step, and you know perfectly what to say and how to say what to say in order to persuade your audience to buy your product or service. On the flip side, since you can't talk with your audience, you have to manage objections in advance. A similar situation happens in the third selling environment: copywriting. The art of selling with the written word. In this case, a sales letter can sell your product or service 24/7, 365 days per year, even in a completely automated way. In this specific situation, you have to work in advance in order to structure your communication appropriately. I recorded many videos regarding the copywriting subject and how to prepare yourself to write a piece of copy that can sell for you 24 hours per day. Check the link to my copywriting playlist in the description below. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I suggest you subscribe right now and turn the notification on to be notified every time I upload a new daily video. If you like this type of content, tap on the like button as well. Thank you. Now, let's analyze the 5 most essential skills in sales. Skill number 1: learn how to identify problems. Without problems, there is no sale. Remember these words. Do not start talking about your product or service at the beginning, but your main focus is to understand the pain points of your potential customer. You know perfectly that your products exist in order to provide a solution for a specific problem. But your potential customer can't be totally aware of his problems related to the solution we want to offer. Have you ever noticed that every TV advertisement begins by highlighting a problem? For instance, are your gums bleeding? Product X is the solution. Have you ever wondered why, especially on the news, they always start talking about bad news? Simply because problems attract people's attention. If you want to have the audience's attention, start sharing a specific problem. And please, do not limit yourself by only describing the problem, but put yourself in a condition to make it worse. The problem has to hurt to make the sale easier. Skill number 2: create empathy. Every one of us wants to be understood. But let me be very clear. I don't want you to lie to your potential customer just to sell your product or service. You have to be very interested in finding a solution to help your future client improve his life sincerely. Empathy means that you care about your audience, you want to help them achieve new goals and improve their lives. I want to share with you some powerful words that you should use to create empathy. I feel you. I know perfectly what you feel. I got you. It's not your fault regarding the situation you are living. I lived a similar situation months ago, so I understand your point of view. And so on. You have to be sincerely interested in your client's situation right now. This mindset puts you in a condition to empathize with your prospect and persuade him properly. Not because you absolutely have to sell your product or service, but because you show interest in helping him fix his problems. Skill number 3, manage objections. This skill is crucial, especially if you understand the real value of an objection. Let me explain what I mean, because this mindset is a game changer. If your potential client has objections, is very interested in your product or service. Think about it. If no one asks you anything about your product, it is not a good sign, and it is easy to understand. Every objection is a sort of benediction, because you can improve your presentation and sales speech the next time you introduce the same product or service to another prospect. If your prospect has an objection, it is because something in your sales presentation isn't clear enough from his point of view. You absolutely need a list of the most important objections you receive during or after your presentation to include them in the following presentation. The goal here is to anticipate objections during your sales speech in order to reduce the doubts your potential client has and close the sale faster. It's the same process you follow when you have to write a sales letter or a video script. In an ideal situation, at the end of your sales speech, your prospect must be ready to buy without asking anything. The secret here is making a list of the frequently asked questions your prospect asks based on the product or service you are selling, and give an answer during the sales speech. Skill number 4, flexibility. Learn how to be flexible. What does flexible mean? Let me explain it to you. Especially in a one-to-one sales environment, even if you follow a specific path regarding your sales presentation, you have to be willing to change it based on your prospect's reaction. It isn't as easy as you can imagine, especially if you are at the beginning, but you are lucky because you are learning these essential concepts. To be very honest, I like preparing myself before selling something because I really believe preparation is the key to success. On the flip side, I don't want to use rigid scripts if I have to sell a product or a service via phone, for instance, because I have the opportunity to verify the reaction of my prospect in real time based on the words I use. Obviously, it takes practice, but when you master this skill in sales, you have an incredible advantage to sell anything you want. The key to remember is this: follow some guidelines during the sales process and be flexible to change them if needed. Skill number 5, close the sale. This is crucial, and to be very honest, I made lots of mistakes in closing. Especially at the beginning, I felt a sort of pressure when it came to closing the sale. Something changed in my way of thinking, even if the previous job had been done correctly. Let me share with you an attitude that I adopted that helped me the most. First of all, your prospect needs to be guided. He can't decide by himself. He needs someone to help him make the final decision. A CTA, call to action, is required. Secondly, if you don't close the sale, you can't help your prospect go to the next level. It's your responsibility. If you really believe in what you are selling, it's your moral obligation to close the sale. And please, do not overspeak about your product or service. When you have finished your presentation and answered your prospect objections, just ask, Max, what payment method do you prefer? Credit card or wire transfer? Or, which of these 3 options available do you prefer? Don't think of closing the sale as a buy now transaction. Closing is just a natural consequence of the proper communication you did previously. Nothing more. You helped your potential client, and now he wants to be supported by you. That's it. Let's do a brief recap of 5 most important skills in sales. Skill 1. Learn how to identify problems. Skill 2. Create empathy. Skill 3. Manage objections. Skill number 4. Flexibility. Skill number 5. Close the sale. Now that you have understood the 5 most important skills in sales, I urge you to watch this important video regarding the 3 secrets to sell anything to anyone at any time. You will love it.